And now we're here, the final game in the SNES trilogy, Mega Man X3. Before I begin though, I want to share this. This was something interesting I found during the development cycle, but due to the amount of time left in the game's development, some levels were handled by Miyaguchi Engineering, aka the developers of the Game Boy Mega Man games. Just wanted to point that out there. Now then, today I'll be looking at the PS1 version of Mega Man X3 because it's the one on the Anniversary Collection. The only real difference though is digitized music and graphics, including animated cutscenes for the Mavericks. Aside from that, nothing's really different from the two. The only other difference is that the SNES version is very rare due to its limited run on the market. So after sitting through X2 and hating it, how does X3 fare? Well, let's find out. X3 takes place several months after the events of the last game, and a Reploid by the name of Dr. Doppler has found a cure for the Maverick virus. But months later, the Mavericks go crazy. Sounds like Windows 8. So it's X and Zero's job to stop Dr. Doppler, and oh my god, they tried to digitize 16-bit sprites for this cutscene, and it looks like shit. Intro stage isn't too bad, but then X gets caught by this Maverick by the name of Mac. No, that wasn't an editing error. I hate playing as Zero in this game. He's pretty much a respray of X, just with an additional charge shot layer. He can't fight Mavericks, he can't get heart tanks or sub-tanks. Oh, and did I mention that if he dies once, you can't use him ever again? What is the point of putting him in the game as a playable character if he can't basically do shit? On to the Mavericks. Unlike the last game, this game's set of Mavericks are all based on various animals. While some look ugly, see Volt Catfish, I like a lot of these Mavericks this time, either due to their stages, their boss fights, or their weapons. I'm not going to say the weapons are all fantastic though. Triad Thunder's only useful for getting goodies, Frost Shield is as useful as the Byakugan, and the less I say about Acid Burst, the better. The level design is a lot better this time around though. It has the straightforward style of getting from point A to point B, but it also has a lot more free room to look for goodies. As for the music, it's okay, I guess. It's a lot better than X2, and by that I mean it actually sounds like a soundtrack for Mega Man X. I like Neon Tiger's theme, the opening theme, and Zero's theme for examples. Returning from X1 and 2 are heart tanks and sub-tanks. I just wanted to get that out of the way. Though I absolutely recommend getting all of them this time, and you'll see why in a bit. For upgrades, we have a helmet upgrade that allows the player to find hidden goodies via a map hologram that can only be seen when entering the stage, a chest upgrade that reduces damage and puts up a shield, the X-Buster upgrade which makes the blast more powerful when combining the two charged shots together, and the boots upgrade which allows X to not only air dash but also air dash upwards. But that's not all. Hidden throughout the stages are 4 chips that allow X to increase his parts tenfold. To balance this out, however, Capcom made it so that you can only get one of these in the entire game. Somewhat. You see, in Doppler Stage 1, if you get all the upgrades without collecting any of the 4 chips, and go to a hidden wall, you can get the gold armor that gives you all 4 chips in one. Did David Belay design this? You can also get ride armors. You know, the one that Val used in the first X game, and the feature I haven't talked about because I barely used it. Yeah. Back to the story. After killing the first 2 Mavericks, Dr. Doppler releases 3 Mavericks to go after X. Their names are Bit, Bite, and, for some reason, Enendo Tensei Vile. Yeah, just like the X-Hunters from the last game. Luckily, you don't have to find them in order to get 2 alternate endings though. Except Vile, but I'll get to him in a second. Unlike the last game, however, you can't find them on the map. Why? So you have to go to all the stages, pray that you can find them in that stage, use their weakness weapon correctly, and get out of there. Bullshit! Vile is an okay fight, but if you use his weakness weapon on him and fight the mini-boss in the Doppler stage with Zero, X gets the Z-Saber that can kill enemies in 2 hits. Before anyone asks, I know of the Hadouken and Dragon Punch in X1 and 2, but I never used them that much in comparison to this. On to the Doppler Castle. Alright, no stupid button puzzle. This is no X1 Sigma Castle, but it's still fun to play through. And at least it's no X Hunter Castle. Bosses are okay, though I will say that the bosses that appear if you kill the three I mentioned with their right weaknesses are an annoyance to deal with. Speaking of, Dr. Doppler is also an annoying boss to fight. Though, to be fair, I blame that mainly because of his regen shield. If you shoot him while it's up, he regains his health. This is more of a battle of patience than skill, and I hate that with this kind of game. After that, it's revealed that Dr. Doppler recreated Sigma and gave him a new body. Wanna know why I'm not surprised? Because if he could come back to life before, Sigma could do it again. Anyway, after the boss rush, it's time to fight Sigma again. Phase 1 is annoying because of his stupid shield, but it's not too bad. Then, I take back my comments on X5 Sigma being a bad final boss, because Kaiser Sigma is the worst Mega Man X final boss I've ever fought so far, and here's why. 1. That large body makes it very hard to land a hit on Sigma because the hitbox is so tiny. 2. A laser that can sap X's health faster than a Pop Glutton. 3. Those friggin' enemies he summons do a shit ton of damage. 4. His attacks! Even after using all 4 sub-tanks, I still die to this guy many times. He's cheap, he's annoying, he hurts like a bitch, and even beating him isn't satisfying. After that, we have an auto-scrolling section. X goes into a dead end, and then Zero or Doppler, depending on the ending, absorbs Sigma and uses a virus cure to stop him once and for all. With the castle exploding, the credits roll. Where do I begin? Although X3 improved on a lot of stuff X2 did wrong, X3 didn't innovate that much to the franchise, and whatever it did, it wasn't that good to use. Take Zero for example. He was a good idea initially, but when they began restricting him, it started to make the idea pointless. The gold armor was a nice addition, but what's the point of the 4 chips if there's an easy location to find an armor that has all the upgrades without any weaknesses? As a whole, I only recommend X3 as a solo game, because as a sequel, the game doesn't innovate that much, and to be honest, I can understand why many people don't like this game for that reason. So that concludes this month of Mega Man X. Thank you all for watching. It's been fun doing this, and I got to help raise awareness as well, which was good. I still have X4 and 6 to cover, but I'll save that for a later date. So thank you all for watching, and have a good holiday season.